beautiful Tuscan destination receives less than half the visitors of some of its better known Tuscan counterparts. It has the goods too. A beautiful hilltop location, a gorgeous medieval fortress, amazing restaurants, and surrounded by some of the best vineyards in the world. So why is it still something of a hidden gem? That town, Montalcino, tucked away in the Val d'Orcia, this is a place that you have to add to your Tuscan itinerary. Now come and spend a day with me getting lost in the cobbled streets of Montalcino and soaking up just a little bit of the town's magic. Ready to explore? Let's dive in. I mean, the drive-in, such classic Tuscan views, rolling hills, plane trees. I mean, it did look incredible. There's a fortress here, there are walls to walk, and also there are wine bars to try. This area is the home of the famed Brunello wine, and I think it would only be right to try a few wines while I'm in the region, right? Right. The Fortress of Montalcino is a medieval castle which has been the focal point of the town since the 14th century. In fact, if there's one place in Montalcino that you have to visit, this is it. First, there's the building itself, a well-preserved fortress of imposing stone with a lot of history. Impressive as that all is, you should climb to the top of the fortress for the real reward, which is the views of the countryside, towers, and the views of the town surrounding. And when you get down to the bottom, there's also really cool Enoteca, but we're going to talk about that later. You know those meals that are so good that you cannot stop thinking about them for weeks after you finish them? Well, let me tell you, my lunch at Il Moro was one such meal. Well, Montalcino for the absolute win. Just had a meal in Il Moro Restaurant, and let me just say, it was spectacular, not only because we had an amazing meal, like we had pasti, antipasti and secondi. It was perfect, but then on top of that they just tried to completely drown us with grappa vinsanto, a dessert wine, and the Brunello, which was chef's kiss. But the food was excellent, amazing restaurant. The terrace was closed at the moment because it is quite windy today, but if you can grab a seat on the terrace, then absolutely do. It is incredible value. It was about 53 euros, and that included drinks. Oh, and by the way, this is actually the third video that I've published in my recent Tuscan road trip. So if you want lots of inspiration for destinations, large and small, then go and check out this video. Now, it's no secret that Tuscany has a lot of great wineries, but Montalcino is on another level. If you look at a map of the region, you'll see quite a few incredible wineries, many of them producing the famed Brunello di Montalcino wine, which is loved by Italians and those in the know, because you know that if you hear about it from the locals, the hype is real. My top tip is to go and visit one of the vineyards and hear about the wine producing, the winemaking process from one of the winemakers themselves. I recommend exploring the medieval fortress and the vineyards of Castel Giocondo, one of the top wineries in the region, and it's an absolute must. But some of the best wine tasting in Montalcino is actually in the Enotecas. But what exactly is an Enoteca? Think a neighborhood wine shop with expertly trained staff and a comfortable atmosphere that is perfect for learning while snacking and sipping on local wines. Now, there are Enotecas scattered throughout the whole of the town, but Enoteca di Piazza is a reliable option in town, and Enoteca La Fortezza is the one that I mentioned earlier, which is actually at the bottom of the fortress, and it's a really cool spot. It's inside of the famous fortress, and it features one of the best selections of Brunello and other local wines in town. So far, Montalcino is shaping up to be a pretty epic destination, am I right? Right. I've got more than a few incredible Tuscan destinations up my sleeve. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you don't miss them. Okay, let's go back to the action. In Montalcino, you should definitely make a beeline for the Cattedrale de Santissimo Salvatore. And this is a small but impressive Duomo, and it dates all the way back to the 14th century. Inside, you'll expect to see large Romanesque columns, a bell tower, and a painting of the Immaculate Conception by Francesco Vanni. I think it can be really easy to really tick off a list of things to do, places that you have to see. But I would say that really one of the joys for me, and one of the things that I really loved about Montalcino, is just the joy of strolling around the town. And this might sound a bit cliched, but this is really a beautiful hilltop town in the middle of the Val d'Orcia. So not only is it a great spot for exploring around the town, you should spend, I'd say, at least a couple of hours just strolling around with no real agenda, because this is genuinely the epitome of La Dolce Vita. There are nice restaurants, it's quiet, there are cool Enotecas, the town itself is obviously beautiful, carved out of seemingly endless honeyed stone. And as I mentioned before, it's also in the Val d'Orcia. The surrounding areas are also great for hiking. As for Montalcino itself, I mean, we've obviously been in Tuscany now for 4 or 5 days, and I think this really might be the contender for my favourite town that I visited. Gorgeous hilltop location, but that really seems de rigueur for Tuscany. But a really nice atmosphere. It's genuinely not busy. You've got amazing wine bars and loads of historical fortresses and great views. So in general, Montalcino, absolutely chef's kiss. I love this place. Montalcino, you have been a dream, but this is Tuscany and there are always more destinations to explore. I know that you will love San Gimignano, the cheeky little town that is nicknamed the medieval Manhattan of Tuscany. Watch this video to go and discover why. I'm Juliana Barnaby from the Discoveries of. Keep discovering, and I'll see you in the next adventure.